Another quick video on torches. Today I'm looking at the Imalent BL50, and they sent this in for review recently, the company, so I thought I'd have a look at it. No information on the box for this one, but I'll put the specs up on screen a bit later on. This is one of their ultra compact models, and it looks quite different to most torches. They have a wrist strap, there's a bit of metal there to help thread it through the hole. And we have a C-to-C charging cable, which is unusual. They're usually A to C. They've gone for something a bit different with the design, and that's okay, I suppose. It does look a bit like a vape. Although it is a nice compact size, I do wish there was a bit more grip on the body with some knurling areas. On the top there is an OLED panel on the left, a switch and the charging port cover. And this has another switch on the base or tail cap, so we have two switches with this one. Though the body is obviously metal, the switches are both plastic. Dual LED on this, we have the UV at the top and a normal LED with a smooth reflector. Not a huge fan of the port cover with this one because it just sort of sits on the top. It's quite thick, but it doesn't really sort of push in and stay in place. I can see over time that might lift up and get in the way. Here's the OLED on the top, and it will show you the power level and output. After a few seconds it switches to the battery indicator and voltage. There are a couple of other things that it will tell you, such as if the voltage is too low for the turbo, it has to be around 3.5 or higher. But it doesn't attempt to give you anything like estimated run times, which we've seen with some of the Nightcore models. Do have a bit of a complaint about the base or tail cap switch because it does sometimes stick. Not exactly sure why that is, it could be my sample. Seems to happen occasionally if you push it on the edge rather than in the middle. We'll go through the UI quickly, just a single press for on and off, and it does have a mode memory. To get to the turbo, that's a double press, and strangely you have to double press it again to get to strobe. When it's on, push in the switch to cycle through the power levels. And the side switch, that gives you access to the lowest output, which is 5 lumens, and also the UV if you give that a double press. If the torch is already on and in a higher level, it will go down to the 5 lumens if you press that button once. And you can have the UV on in all of the power levels except the highest output. Not sure if you'd want to do that, but it is there. Unfortunately, we do have a lockout with this. Triple press to lock and unlock, and you'll see the information come up on the display. You'll definitely want to use that because the switches don't need a lot of pressure to activate them. What they have is a built-in 18650 battery, and that does support quick charging, so your recharge times are quite fast. I did check with Imalent, but the battery is not user replaceable, and they don't offer a service to change it out. I can certainly see that being a problem for some people, and I'm not a big fan of the built-in batteries myself. I put some of the specs and output information up on screen for you so you can have a look at that. Do have 6 power levels in total, which is okay, although the spacing could be a bit better on the lower level, the 200 lumens. Onto the beam shots now, so we'll start off with the TH10R. As soon as we go on to the BL50, you'll notice that at 200 lumens it still has a fairly decent range off of this, and then it will increase the power levels. You'll see it does spread out a bit. So you get a fairly decent spread or fill on the outer areas, it's not just focused in the middle. Though with the smooth reflector it does have a fairly good range off of this, better than many of your typical EDC type torches. It's certainly possible to get over 3000 lumens with a high drain 18650. I've done quite a few beam shots with this, so do have a look through, see what you think, and I will give you my summary at the end of the video. Give you a few of my thoughts on the Imalent, and to be honest, I have very mixed feelings on this torch. A couple of reasons for that. I'm not a big fan of the switches. They are too easy to press in my opinion. The side switch, I think they should have moved that up to the top because it's very easy to knock that and drop your power level down to 5 lumens when you're not intending to do that. Had that quite a few times when I was doing the beam shots. I also think the body's a bit on the slippery side. Not a fan of the USB port cover, to be honest, it's not very well done. And the big one is obviously the built-in battery. I did take some of the hex screws out, but I couldn't get the back part off to get to the battery, so I really wouldn't bank on being able to change that yourself. If there is one positive thing to take away from this, I do quite like the beam profile. So I'm not a big fan of this one, to be honest with you. I personally wouldn't buy it myself. Hopefully the company will take on board some of these points, but if you've got anything you'd like to add yourself, do drop a comment down below.